conservative, run the ball here on third down. Here's Richardson. He takes it in for his first NFL touchdown. And Pittman takes it inside the 20, the 10, towards the end zone. Touchdown on 2nd and 28. The Colts capitalize. Richardson to Pittman, 39 yards.
Good evening, everybody. You know what time it is. It's Saturday. It's time for y'all to come kick it with the crew while we talk our shit about how shitty the Jacksonville Jaguars are and how we're going on a revenge tour. And we're going to end this damn streak tomorrow by losing in Jacksonville. It just ain't happening.
Let's go. What's up, everybody? Thanks, everybody, for coming in. I'm still sharing this around. But hell yeah, can't wait to get this week going. We got to end this streak. It's been too long. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tonight, I believe it's me, DeMarco, and I think Trev will be on here in a minute. Zach is working, and Damon is still at his sister's birthday party, so he'll probably hop on eventually. Where's Chad at, man? I don't see Chad in the comments yet. If y'all are in here, man, I just want to hear everyone's thoughts about last week, man. I know people are going to start questioning about Anthony Richardson. We have no more information that you've probably seen on Twitter or heard from the a million different podcasts that have written the same exact thing, said the same exact thing all week long. All we know is his shoulder's hurt, grade 3 AC joint, and he'll be missing at least 4 weeks on IR. So there goes with those questions. From the last I saw, they're still mulling on whether he's going to get surgery or not. We're not sure. But that's all we got for that. JT is supposed to ramp up tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how they split these reps between Zach Moss and JT. That's one of the things that I'm interested in seeing. But yeah, man, if you're watching, I see 7 up there. Drop your comments, man. Let's get this conversation flowing. It's a good night.
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think surgery is on the table. At least that's my guess right now. I think if you have surgery, that his year would be over. So I think that would have been like doing that immediately just to get that out of the way if that was going to be the case. But hope it's just needed some rest, maybe 4 to 6 weeks inside of that window. Hopefully not anything too bad. As for JT and Zach Moss, me personally, I think once you ramp them up and you see that JT is going to be able to look like the JT that we know, in my opinion, I think you just go 50-50 until you see who has the hot hand. Whoever you see has that hot hand, and when you need a crunch play, you can kind of shift those guys how you want to and just kind of keep their numbers equal until you see one starts to have a bigger game than the other. And that way you can have both backs being able to do what they do and get the same amount of carries.
I think it was
running.
I think it was Billy Brooks. Is that his name? Billy Brooks? Bill Brooks?
Just Bill Brooks, but yeah.
Bill Brooks, yeah. I think he said it perfect the other day. He said, we get it, JT's back, but Zach Moss has earned his chance to get the first punch against Jacksonville next week. So, and I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, yeah, you got JT. JT's back. He's healthy. But Zach Moss has played at a point where he's, number 3 in yards behind Christian McCaffrey, and I can't remember who else is in front of him. But, yeah, he's number 3 in yards. He's killing it. He's averaging, 99 yards a game. We as a team are averaging like 130 yards a game rushing. Our rushing attack is legit. So Zach Moss definitely earned it this year, or at least this week, to be able to start off as the starting running back.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, right now he's the guy. I think he's earned it enough. You can't just go handing jobs away, because then you kind of take away accountability and discipline to the team. You make sure everybody man, don't come into the comments, bro.
Yeah, get in the video.
You can hop on, bro. Ain't no commented for you, special guest. But yeah, I think he has to be the guy, at least until they can kind of split out some carries until you get JT back completely. So
Dave's right. It's Avanci. Avanci, is that how you say his name? Avanci?
A-Chain.
A-Chain. I knew it was something like that. Yeah, he's hurt this week. I think he was banged up going into last week, and I think he's hurt. He's definitely not playing this week. But that dude's fast. He's one of the fastest running backs I've seen in a long time. If he gets open field, he's gone. Like,
Yeah,
there's no angle
he's
to get.
another 4-3 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's on IR.
he's on IR. So he's out with a knee injury for the next 4 weeks. But they just brought back Jeff Wilson, who unfortunately is also out for Miami tomorrow. Guess they weren't ready to play him yet, so it's going to be all Raheem Mostert, and I don't know who else they have back there.
Man, he's a solid backup. He's a solid running back this year too.
Yeah.
He's having a good year over there in Miami. I think almost
I
everybody's having a good year.
I was about to say, as long as you can run a 4-3, you having a good year in Miami. Yeah, hey, they got everybody back there, so
making everybody look silly.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think yeah. As for I don't know what that had to do with JT and Zach Moss, but
it was because I said that
talking about how they were
whoever was
carries.
in front of him. No, whoever was in front of JT. He was behind Chris. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think that's just how you do it, man. I mean, I think you let those guys play until they get the hot hand. As for us, I think you split it 50-50. Zach Moss obviously should get the start until we see how that goes. And then from there, you just kind of see who has the hot hand, who's going to be able to take over the game. We should obviously be running the ball a lot. And then, yeah, I mean, I think that's where you take it from there. Where's everybody at talking about this Titans game, though? Where are you guys at? Nobody excited about knocking off one streak?
For real, bro. Like, where are y'all at?
Yeah, we only have one person who's going to be out for this game as well as of right now. Braden Smith is out with a hip injury versus Jacksonville, and that's been the only one. I think there was like one or two questionable.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's where we're at with that.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's all good. Do you think? So yeah, only one person going to be out for Jacksonville as of right now, and then yeah, I mean we got a lot to do here. Obviously, there we go. Chad coming in the comments. Almost a McAfee day. One punt for Rigo. So yeah, like I said this a couple times. Only one person out, and then I think another two questionable, but we do get Quiddy Pay and Bernard Ryman. We get both of them back for tomorrow, so that's good. It's gonna be definitely good to have those guys back. I would say, like I said, split up carries until you let the hot hand go. Yeah, Travis, it's been longer than 3 minutes, man. But yeah, man, about that Titans game, I think it was one of those games. I think we talked about it last week. Me, Damon, kind of really expressed our ways with that game and how we've been down on the Titans and how they kind of taken advantage of us. That was a game that we had to have. And I thought it was great that we came in and we put in work on the Tennessee Titans, and we showed those guys that that we weren't just going to keep being pushovers. It was great to finally have a coach. There he is. To have a coach that wasn't just going to be pushed around and bullied by Mike Vrabel and those Titans. So we finally shoved the ball down their throat and showed them that we could play bully ball too. So love to see that. Love to see the Colts finally shake that off of us. And now it's time to go get another one to shake off of us in Duval and Jacksonville and beat those guys as well.
Man, you want to talk about what's up, boys? Hey, it's good to be back. First of all, I know I've been inconsistent for a little bit here, so I'm glad to be back on a Saturday night show with the boys. But you want to talk about bully ball? I think we saw the meaning of the word when Zaire Franklin met so-called King Henry in the hole, stuffed him for a turnover on downs, and that set the whole tone, man. So we play bully ball in Indy. I don't know if any other team is gonna take it to us like that anymore.
For a yard too. That was what everybody always said they needed Derrick Henry to get a yard, and that was supposed to be their guy to get it, and couldn't do it.
We got the Kingslayer out there.
Love
That
to
dude's
see
having
it.
a ridiculous year.
Chad is saying how much of a workload you see JT. Like I said, so Shane Steichen made it clear that JT is going to get more than 10 carries or 10 touches. So that was definitely something that we look forward to seeing. I think if we can keep this game the way we wanted to, it should be a pretty. I see. Earlier on in the season, I would have thought maybe Minshew would have passed maybe a little bit less, but I think we could see an even split. We could see, 24 to 30 passes, and we can also see 24 to 30 rushes. So I see JT at least getting half of that. So I say between him and Moss, depending on who gets the hot hand, I think JT sees a 15 plus touches would be around my mark for JT there. Chad.
Yeah, I'm not far off. I see him getting about 12, and I think watch for JT to get more open in space this week as well. Last week, I mean, he felt a little rusty from what it looked like. There was a couple cuts he could have made that he wasn't quite there, but it's also his first time in that offense, his first time back being healthy. So I'm not tripping about it. I think we see him a little bit sharper this week, and he'll get better as we go.
Absolutely. I don't even think it was anything. It's just not playing football for a long time. You're not used to following behind guys. You're not used to seeing lanes that you haven't been in for a while. You're not used to taking hits. So I know just being able to get tackled just feels good after being out for so long. So it's one of those things where you're like, okay, he'll start to get his groove back. Dave is saying here, bully ball was 7-minute drive to almost close it out. Yeah, you love to see that. Yeah. I mean, I think it was about 10:40 when we got the ball back, and we didn't get it back until there was like 3.5 left. Yeah. So I mean, that's legit right there. We do not see or I don't want to say we do not see very often, but we haven't seen very often where we get the ball and we just purely run out the clock. Yeah, like, this is the drive that we've been looking for. I know Steichen's tried it a couple times early on in the season, but it was great to see us be able to just run the ball, run the air out of the ball, and literally give the Titans no chance, because this is what our game plan was from the jump anyway. Get those guys down, force them to pass, and look what happens.
Yeah, man, it was beautiful to see. And if you force Ryan Tannehill to go out and beat you, that's a pretty good game plan, because if there's one quarterback that I want to try to beat me, it's probably Ryan Tannehill. So I was all right with that. They got a chance at the end, went nowhere with it. But that 7-minute drive was something to witness, man. We've been waiting for an offense like that for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was definitely one that you love to see, them being able to just make that happen. Make one of those drives happen and whatnot. It was one of those things where you just, you like to see that drive be able to get closed out. You like to see the defense be able to get a stop when you need one on 4th and 1. All around, just a great closeout. Love to see us beat them. Would have loved for it to be a blowout, but either way, when you can beat those guys,
a dub's a dub, man. I'm just sick of Tennessee, so I'll take it.
Yeah, for real. And then Chad is saying here, Zaire Franklin just keeps getting better and better. Man, Zaire Franklin's a dog.
It's unreal. Unreal.
I'm loving some of the players we have on this team being able to talk their talk and go out and play with a mentality that shows that we're going to be physical, we're going to be tough, and you're not going to just walk over us.
Bro,
that's one of those things.
You want to talk about a diamond in the rough. I want to say this guy was like a 6th-round pick, maybe. I know he was a late pick.
Seventh round pick.
Late pick years ago. Special teams guy, just effort guy. And we pointed this out like a couple years ago, because he was named a team captain as a special teams guy. It's like, all right, this guy's got to be, energy in the locker room, like work ethic, like he's got to be one of those guys. So you love to see that. But like, I don't know if anyone saw his production level and his talent getting to where it's at now. Like, this guy's he's one of the best linebackers in the league right now. Like, I don't know if anyone saw that coming. So I love it all, man. I want him to keep dominating every week.
Yeah, you love to see things like that. A 7th-round pick being able to come where he came from. And I'd like to say, I hate to be wrong, but I also like to say I want to say he's the captain for the 3rd straight year in a row.
I believe so.
After being a 7th-round pick and only being a special teamer primarily. So 3 years in a row being a captain and being a guy that's usually running special teams. That's just awesome to see, man. Great story for Zaire Franklin out of Philly. That's one of those things that just crazy, man.
Man, this is the big question, isn't it? This is the big question.
I'm not here. I done seen a bunch of debate. So Chad is talking about Jerry Jeudy. It's been rumored and I do want to say it has been a verified source, at least from Dustin Adams, who's also verified it and said that this is a realistic thing that the Colts reached out to the Broncos about Jerry Jeudy. I like Jerry Jeudy. I think he's a good player and whatnot, but I just don't see it. I mean, I don't think it's one of those things where you can go and I wouldn't trade a lot of capital for him just because it hasn't been there. I know I seen when there was some plays and stuff like that I was watching from the recent Broncos and Chiefs game. Dude's just not separating. And I mean, it's just one of those things where if we're going to trade for a guy, we need another separator, another big play guy that's really going to be able to give us something on each and every down. But his offense is just putrid. I've seen another person who put up like a whole highlight reel of literally all 34 snaps that he took against the Chiefs, and their offense is putrid. I mean, their offense, they had 4 screens. Four screens ran to him. I mean, that looked like similar to Frank Wright's offense that we used to try and run with Pittman. I mean, that's just ugly. So I'm not all the way there. I'd prefer Patrick Surtain. If we trade for him, hey, you got on a jersey, man. I'm going to be happy for you to be here. But don't know how much I am there still with Jerry Jeudy.
I feel like it's one of those like multi-layer issues too. Like how much of it is a product of everything around him, you know, like clearly he's not been what we thought Jerry Jeudy could be coming out of college. He was a great player in college. Hasn't really reached that level in the NFL, but then you wonder too, like, has this guy ever had a quarterback that can deliver him the ball like his peers have had? Has he ever been in an offense that's as efficient like his peers have had? You know, like how much of that is a part of the problem? And then two, because of that, because of all the struggles in Denver, how much is that affecting him to where his effort level is lower or is just ability to focus and be in the game 100% is less? So not trying to play devil's advocate too much, but even if it's not in Indy, I would love to see this guy in a different offense get a different chance somewhere because it's not working up there. And if that's with the horseshoe, so be it, man. I'd take a flyer on him, but I agree. I wouldn't give up too much capital to get him.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. I also would like to say that I don't think effort is one of those things that should ever be an issue. Just me personally, I got a problem for you to trade for you when effort is a problem. Just like Pat Surtain said that everybody is on, like, they might go fire sale in Denver and he's untouchable, but he still plays hard. He's still going to give effort. Like, I just don't think that effort is one of those things that I hate to see being questioned.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to see it from you.
That's like the red flag.
Every day.
Yeah, that's the red flag.
Yeah, because it's just like you start to become one of those players that I really don't want to see on the field. Because, I mean, look what's happened with Chase Claypool. I mean,
yeah,
one of those guys that now he's just being passed around.
Now he's just there. Yeah, I don't know, Chad. I would not give up Alec Pierce for him right now. As it is, I would not. I know we haven't been super impressed with Pierce yet this year, but I'm not going to give up one of our own guys who knows the system, who's working towards it and like in the right state for a guy that with this many question marks. I'd give up maybe a fifth for him. I would consider that, yeah. But I'm not giving up Pierce for him, though.
I also don't even think you need to give up Pierce for him. Me personally, like, I've seen a lot of people talk about Pierce and complain about Pierce or whatever, but it's not like people complain about him like we're paying him to be a top 5 receiver.
Yeah, like, Let's get that straight.
I mean, this is a third year wideout who's on a rookie deal.
Is it even? Deal. I thought he was on a second year.
Second year, my bad. Second year wideout, who's literally not being really asked to do much. I mean, like, he's just asked to really block and run deep routes. Yeah. You know, he's not necessarily being asked to do anything more. So it's like, to me, I'm saying still let the guy develop. I'm not out on him. I think that'd be a wasted point. I mean, and if you look at the receivers that we have active on game day, it's literally 4 each and every week. So what would be the difference between giving up 1 5th-round pick for Jerry Jeudy or even a 4th or whatever, just to have him come in and be another receiver for us? That would give us 5 on game day that we would have active. So I don't think it would be the biggest deal in the world to keep him, but I'm not out on Pierce. I think he just needs more time. We need to make him a part of the game plan, which I don't really think he's been. So just one of those things. I'm definitely not out on him.
Agreed.
And then we got Rusty here saying, I think the Colts having 200 yards a game is about to be a normie thing for the rest of the season. Our O-line is warmed up. Hey, you love to see us get to it.
100%, dude.
RTDB.
Yeah.
It was our saying for a very long time.
And we're getting back to it now. Man, and one of these cut blocks too, like we saw a couple highlights. Like Q looks like himself again with these pulls and just ripping people off their feet and just pancaking them into the dust. How about French getting in there too though? Fries is like these guys that have been backups. Whenever we're seeing them in snaps, they're doing well in the run game. Blake Freeland in the limited snaps that we've seen him, he's doing good in the run game. Like I'm loving our line right now.
Talk about a trial by fire for Blake Freeland.
Yeah, this guy.
I mean, you come in and your first few starts, you're going up against Jeffrey Simmons and Tennessee Titans. You're going up against Baltimore Ravens in a blitzing defense. You're going up against Aaron Donald and the Rams.
Are you kidding me?
You're going up against Josh Allen. Like, I mean, talk about trial by fire, man.
And he's met the challenge. He's met the challenge. Like he hasn't won every single rep. Yeah, all right. This guy's not freaking God or anything of the O-line, but he's met the challenge. He showed up every game. He's not been a traffic cone. Like expectations, I don't know where those were at, but I've been personally very impressed with Blake Freeland. I think he's going to be a future starting right tackle later on as we go. But I've been so impressed with this kid, and I hope he does well tomorrow as well.
I don't know if he'll end up being a starter. I think he could be a very good swing for a few years because if you look at our right and our left tackle, Bernard Ryman, very young. And then you look at Braden Smith, not very young, but he just got paid a few years ago. I think that was a 3-year deal or something like that. So,
yeah, that's why I have him slotted as a potential starter because I think we're going to end up letting Smith walk. So I think once that happens, Freeland would slide it. But that's just projection. I don't know for sure. That's just
I'd rather kick Freeland to right guard and see if he could take over from there and just become a solid guy. Just because of the fact that the way Braden Smith is playing, Braden Smith is graded. He's graded as our highest offensive lineman in almost every game this year. So we just need Smith to stay healthy and keep doing what he's doing. But I'd like to keep him there. Our co-host Zach is in the comments here. He couldn't be on with us tonight, but he's definitely part of the show as usual. Y'all think part of the problem is Judy may be overhyped coming out of college due to injuries in which are normal, hasn't lived up to expectations. I can't knock Judy because of his offense is absolute trash. So that's kind of pretty much what we went off of. I don't know about the hype part though, because I kind of feel like Jerry Judy has the same type of upside that CD Lamb can give you. Maybe a little bit less just because of their size difference, but
they're in that same kind of tier. I agree.
I just feel like maybe somebody could possibly not be using you right, but I just feel like when your talent, your ability is up there, you should be able to make plays regardless of it. And it just hasn't worked. And it could just be that their offense is trash in Denver. So if you can get them for a steal, then you get them for a steal. Yeah. I just don't think it's one of those things where it's like, can we give him so many excuses? Because when you're supposed to be a top tier guy, you should look like one.
Right.
And even with injuries, he's had drop issues. He has the separation, or like me and Trev was talking about, the energy or the effort factor. It's like there's too many things that's surrounding you. And just like Steve Smith said, like after he couldn't take criticism, he's saying you're an average receiver and they're going to get rid of you. So it's like if you're a top tier guy, that should make you go out and have a big game. And if that can't make you have a big game, I don't know what else will.
I'm not sure. And I mean, what a mess for Denver too. Like their whole thing this offseason was, let's go ahead and fix this offense. Solid defense for years. Offense has been terrible since Peyton Manning retired. Obviously dreadful last year. They bring in Sean Payton and it's just the same. Like nothing's gotten better. Behind all of his talk and all of his, we're going to do everything different. Like Denver looks fucking horrible, regardless of who's out there. So it is one of those multi-layer issues to me of, is it Jerry? Is it the offense as a whole? Like it's got to be a little bit of everything, right? So that's why I'm interested in Jerry Jeudy. I would be interested in making a deal for him, but I'm not giving up more than like a 5th round pick.
Yeah, I'm with that as well. I'm down for a late round pick. I'd be all in for that, something like that. But who knows? We got Joshua Merchant coming in the comments here. He said, do you think Zach Moss' production will go down once Jonathan Taylor comes back to form, or do you think they'll use them both equally? And he also says he loves the show. Appreciate you, Joshua. Actually, I'm gonna leave that up real quick. So I would say yes, as far as I don't know if I'd say production. I'd say touches.
Snap
I'll just say, I'll just say touches. His touches will go down. I'm not sure about his production, because I think both of our backs are two type of guys that you give them more carries, you're going to see either one of them either continue to stay steady or to bust a game open. So I would say touches go down. I would like to say his personal production may dip a little bit, but I think overall, if you counted the two backs, I think their production will still stay pretty steady. So, like me, for example, I got a fantasy league where I just traded for JT. I traded Jalen Waddle for him. And then I also had Zach Moss because I knew JT wasn't going to play and Zach Moss was just sitting there. And then my third running back is Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson has been so bad in these past few weeks that I'm literally about to start JT and Zach Moss, both of them.
Send
they're on the same team.
We'll see what happens.
Just because of Ramondre Stevenson has been so bad. And Jonathan Taylor had 10 carries, and he still had the same amount of fantasy points as Ramondre Stevenson. So, as for production for Zach Moss, I think it may dip a little bit, but I still think the hot hand, whoever, it could go either way with these guys. I think that's how that's going to work out.
Yeah, 100%. And Josh, I appreciate the comment, man. We love guys that love the show, dude. Thank you for commenting and letting us know. But freaking Zach Moss and JT, man, what I foresee this being and what I hope it becomes is a situation where, like, we've talked about moving from a one-back offense to something where we have a stable, right? Where we have guys that we can just feed and rely and ride that hot hand. And I think that's where we're at with these guys. Like, Zach Moss this year has been overperforming like a motherfucker. Like, we knew this guy was a pretty solid back, but what we've seen from him so far this year is on a different level. So if we can get both of them going and then just whoever's hot that day, feed him more than the other guy, this offense becomes insane. Like, this is so hard to stop. So I agree. I don't know if his production goes down once JT's all the way back. I think it's more so like we're talking about riding that hot hand. Who's got it that day? Feed that dude. Let the other guy come in every once in a while, maybe a third of the snaps. I'd be 100% for that offense.
Facts. We got Kevin Howe coming in here saying, I hope we just ease JT back into it. Both good backs, and I'd hate risk JT getting hurt with Moss playing so well. So I'd actually say this helps both of them. So if you think about how everybody talks about running back life longevity in the league, and stuff like that, I think this is one of those situations where if you can get a 1-2 punch, your offense is that much better. So look at the Detroit Lions last year with Jamal Williams and God damn it, it wasn't David Montgomery DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift. They had them. You look back at Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram back in the day with the New Orleans Saints. I think this is one of those situations where you also look at Shane Steichen after Deion Jackson, the debacle we had in Jacksonville week 1 where the guy fumbled twice. Yeah. Zach Moss came in back that second week from a broken forearm, I might add you, and played 100% of the snaps.
Yeah.
So I was worried that we might put too much of a workload on Zach Moss, and he might not make it through a season with how much he was carrying. So I think this is just going to work in the Colts' favor, where you have two backs that you can trust, and it's not like you're just like, oh yeah, I'm going to Jake Funk to relieve Zach Moss. No, you're going to one of the best backs in the league that can still break the game open. So I think this just works in our favor. I think this helps in case one of those guys do possibly get hurt. So I think this favors us.
And for what it's worth, the O-line they're running behind is 100% back. RTDB, like, we are there, dude. We are back in that era, 100% Colts football. So, like, either one of these guys, I love what you said. It's great for both of them for their longevity because neither one of them needs to carry the ball 35 times a game. You feed both of them and you just let them cook, dude. And it's going to be beautiful to watch, man. I hope both stay healthy. And I hope JT, we see him back in that Jonathan Taylor form that we know and love. And I think it's coming.
Absolutely. And then Robert Thompson's coming here. Do you think the Colts use Moss's draft capital in the spring to get Harrison Jr.?
Not.
So I actually don't want to talk too much about this because the Colts are actually projected right now to do better than I thought
Yeah,
offseason.
I don't think we're in the conversation
for the season. So I'd kind of like to hold off on this one until we see if we're going to make the playoffs or not, just because I think this matchup right here tomorrow will tell us everything. But I will say Zach Moss is a free agent coming next summer. So I'm not one of the type of Colts fans or the guys that like to just give players away, especially once you start seeing them do well. I like to hang on to guys that do well, me personally. And I like to think that that's a situation where you don't want to trade Zach Moss away. And then what if JT gets hurt? I'm the type of person that thinks the cup is half full. So I'd rather have and not need than to need and not have. So that's just me.
Yeah. On top of that too, if we're talking draft capital to get Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, this guy's going to be a top 10 pick. No running back is even sniffing the discussion of being worth the top 10 pick. So unfortunately, no, like even if we wanted to, I don't foresee that as an option for us. I think we'd have to give up a lot more than that to be in that conversation.
Also do appreciate a lot of you guys' comments in here and how
keep it coming.
Freely and open they are. But if we can get some of these the Titans game comments and the Jacksonville comments, just so we don't kind of run through with different topics, I'd appreciate that. So let's get some of those questions here. But
let us have it, baby.
You guys. Dave is saying, Dave Stewart is saying, since I live in Buffalo, I was disappointed in the Moss trade. That said, it was clear he was not used right in Buffalo. I've heard this argument a million times over Twitter. It's just insane of what we could do with this offensive line when they get back to form. This is the exact offensive line and the team that people were saying for the last 4 years was just a quarterback away. So totally agree. When I saw Nyheim Hines get traded, I was pretty bummed about it, but obviously, clearly,
we won. We won.
Ballard was cooking.
Yeah, as he does, man, as he does. Hey, Dave, I hope you're staying warm up there, man. It's cold down here in Louisiana tonight, so I know Buffalo's got to be getting chilly. But man, I couldn't say it any better. We definitely won that trade as much as I love Nyheim. Chad says healthy competition will have both them playing better and utilizing. Both of them could lead to longer careers. Dude, absolutely, especially after this deal that we just gave to Jonathan Taylor, right? 3 years. Like, this guy's in it for the long haul. So, obviously, we want to maximize his ability. We want to maximize his production, let him get out there and ball. But at the same time, whatever we can do to ease a little bit of that load off him, a little bit of that burden, and just have him take a little bit less hits, we should do. Like, he's in for 3 years. Hopefully, maybe even more down the line, right? If we can keep him that long. But 3 years for sure that he's here. So, yeah, if we can ease some of those hits, we might as well. And a guy like Zach Moss playing out of his mind helps that big time.
Yeah, just to add to that healthy competition part, too, I do want to say, I don't know if you guys saw the director's cut for the Indianapolis Colts, where Zach Moss really said he appreciated JT being one of the first guys to congratulate him on that 51-yard run. Because usually when you see stuff like that, you'll see a guy kind of looking over his shoulder like this guy trying to take my job. But JT being the team guy that he is, you know, he's like, hey, man, you did your thing, bro. You helping the team win. So it's just one of those situations where good helps good. I mean, it's just one of those things where we got to love and appreciate it. Dave, I got to tell you, I love this comment here more than you know, man. Dave is basically saying here, sure seems like coaching was the problem with the offensive line. I think me and the guys in the group chat, Damon, Trev, Zach, and Matt, we all had this conversation, and you could tell this whole entire team coaching was the problem.
100%.
I mean, just look how much different we look. I mean, there aren't very many different players outside of Minshew and AR.
No, yeah.
You can call it the way you want to.
It's a lot of the same roster.
A lot of the same. I mean, these are the same players that literally won 4 games last year. So, I mean, it just looks like the offensive line just looks rejuvenated. The running back room, obviously, we're getting healthy back there again. The receiving core, I think we can obviously still keep building from there. But, I mean, it's good to see Pittman looking the way Pittman is supposed to look. And then just the rest of the team just building with it. So, I truly appreciate this comment here. But, obviously, I've said it from the jump that trenches was what this team was going to need to get back to what we needed.
Right. And to add to that too, I don't think it was ever a talent issue. If you guys have been around the show for a while, man, we talked a lot last year about how it seemed like the protection calling transitioned from Ryan Kelly, who was great at it, to when we brought Matt Ryan in, it's like we gave him too much credit and too much respect and let him take that over because that's how he always did in Atlanta. And then we're seeing him just get swarmed. We're seeing him get destroyed because that's not what this O-line had been doing. So we messed with their chemistry last year. We messed with their procedure and just kind of threw everything away. And obviously what happened. Now it's like we're back to a coach that empowers this O-line to go out and get it. And they're doing what they do, man. So more of that, more power to them, and more power to Shane Steichen.
Absolutely. You love to see it. We got this comment here coming from Nathan saying, what are the odds the Colts trade for Jerry Jeudy? I think they're pretty high just because the Colts did reach out, but obviously just reaching out isn't enough. So I'd say the chances are high, but who knows?
Also, realistically, I mean, we don't make a ton of midseason moves. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm not too sure. But the fact that we've been directly linked to it is interesting. So we'll see, man. I honestly 50-50.
For sure. And then Chad is just coming back to Dave here saying, turn one of the worst to one of the best. Actually, it was one of the best to one of the worst back to one of the best. So this kind of looks like
to what we do, man.
This looks like Philadelphia that year. They went from good to worst to good. So you love to see things like that. There we go. Got some comments coming in for the Jacksonville game. Chad is saying here, old Doug Peterson seemed nervous when talking about playing Indy. I think truthfully, I think any coach in the same division as another team is nervous to play another divisional opponent.
You got to be.
I think
your whole season.
If I'm just being honest, because of the fact that you see divisional opponents twice. So they know you. They know what you want to do to them. They know what you want to do against them. So it's just one of those things where I think you're just worried about a team that may, a team that everybody would say you're supposed to beat them, but you don't. And so I think that's more so what it is.
Look, man, Dougie P, he's an incredible coach. You'll never hear me say anything bad about him. But this guy knows, like, he knows exactly what this game means, especially when we've lost this long in Duval. Like, it is so hard to keep streaks like that going. He sees an energized team. He sees the team that plays to the whistle, that plays all the way, plays hard. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much he's nervous, like shaking in his boots or anything, but he's certainly concerned. He's certainly taking the game serious, and it's nice to be taken serious for once. Yeah, 100%. Nobody was scared to play us last year, nor should they have been. It was tough to watch, but you know what? We're on to better things, baby.
No, I think everybody was scared to play us personally because it's like when you watch
what
that
if
team,
we lose?
Yeah, exactly. When
what
you
if
watch
we lose
this
to
team,
the Colts?
if you watch this team on film, you're like, hey man, it's any given Sunday. What if we lose to that team? That team, yeah. So,
hey, shout out to Paul Lorenzi. I'm down here in Louisiana too, man. I'm glad I'm not the only one holding it down for the horseshoe, bro. Glad to have you on here. Who else we got in here?
It looks like we got wrong one. Clicked on the wrong one.
Looks like
we got one from Rockhampton, Queens Island in Australia.
That's
Appreciate
awesome,
you coming
man.
in,
That's
David.
awesome.
That's dope.
Keep holding it down for the shoe down there in Australia.
Dave says huge game for the division. Yeah, absolutely. I think this is one of those ones where you got to have it. Josh is coming in here and saying, how do we slow down Calvin Ridley? He killed us the first game. Can I get your thoughts on Shaq? I'm still a fan of his. Trev, you want to go first?
Yeah, man, dude. This has been like my number one frustration with this defense.
Caleb Williams has thrown 3 interceptions in the first half.
Oh my God.
In the first half. Jeez, that's insane.
So this has been my number one frustration with this defense, which has been a good defense through the first, what are we at? 6 games, 5 games?
6 games. Week 6.
Week 6,
games.
Right. So every week, it seems like we're committed to letting exactly one receiver just torch us. Like we saw it with Calvin Ridley, and we've seen it every week since. There's one dude that the quarterback can get to anytime he wants, and we can't do anything about it for no reason. And the reason is inexperienced corners in the secondary. I understand that. I know where we're at with that situation, but man, how do we slow Calvin Ridley down? We need to pull safety help. We saw the first time we played them that Travis Etienne could not torch us like he's been torching other teams. Our front 7 is strong enough to hold that run game down. So if we have to move safeties, if we have to double a guy, a wide receiver, fucking do it, man. That's the way they beat us. Like we can't keep letting guys torch us for 120, 130 yards and expect to still be in it every time. So yeah, Calvin Ridley, we got to do something about him. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Calvin Ridley's been good, right? I'd like to say he had 100 yards in almost every single game this year.
He's been,
but I would also like to say he had 100 yards, 130 103 yards or something like that in the first half against us, and he finished with like 124 yards or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and act like the guy's impossible to stop. I think the key to stopping Calvin Ridley is to get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Get pressure on him, force him into some interceptions. I'm not really worried about one guy beating us because if you look at each and every single game this year, we've let one guy go crazy and we've still won 3 games.
Yeah,
so,
that's 100% fair.
So it's not one of those situations where I think this guy's just going to completely take over and we can't beat this team. So I think that we just need to control him, control Trevor Lawrence in the line of scrimmage, and I think we can get that win from him. This is also Kevin kind of chiming in with the same type of thing there. We don't run the defense where any cornerback is going to follow any receiver, so I just want to address that one real quick. And then as for Shaq, we got different opinions in here, so I don't want to speak for everybody on the show. When I say in here, I mean all the crew members.
Our group as a whole.
Me and Trev are 2 of the people that want to stick by Shaq. We want to see him play out a year and kind of see how he can get back to form. This guy's missed a lot of football, so we want to see him come back. Me and Trev still believe in the guy, and I think he just needs one takeover game.
Yeah.
And I think he can get right back to doing what he does. I know some of our other co-hosts, they would be totally open to trade him for a legit receiver or something like that to try and get somebody. So, I mean, I'd be really hurt to see Shaq go, but at the same time, like if
it's fair,
if Minnesota did something crazy like trade a Shaq for Justin Jefferson,
hey,
you wouldn't hear me complain. But we're still big fans of Shaq as well. Me and Trev personally, we just want to see the guy get back and get back to form.
Yeah, and I mean, I think everybody's a big fan of Shaq. How could you not be? This guy's, I mean, he's been holding it down for the team from
Jersey.
day one.
Matt's from Jersey as well. There, Jim.
Shout out, bro. Welcome. But man, it's definitely a fair debate at this point of what to do with Shaq moving forward. If he can't be the same guy, what do we do? I think DeMarco and I are a little more optimistic than the others and just try to be a little patient, give him a chance. But man, I just want to see this dude cook one time, man. And hopefully tomorrow or the next week or whenever he keeps playing can be the time. But man, I missed that maniac punch, dude. I need to see a punch out. I need to see some forced fumbles. We got to get back to that. The good news, though, is Zaire, EJ Speed, like all the guys that have been playing in lieu of him have been incredible. So it's not all bad news.
Oh, man. Dave saying we slowed down really here in the second half. Kenny did it. So I think that's just a way that the situation shook out, the way the Jags started using Ridley, and a way we tried to switch up some of our cornerbacks because Darrell Baker Jr. was struggling. So that was the switch we ended up making. It kind of worked out. Kenny Moore even said himself that he didn't do anything to slow down Ridley. That's just kind of where the game plan shook out. David is saying here for him to watch a Colts game live, he has to get up at 3.
That's commitment, brother.
Yeah, that is commitment. I really hope you don't have to work on Monday or you can get sleep after the game, man. Really hope you can. Yeah, it's a great thing that Zay Jones isn't playing. That's one less receiver to worry about because if everybody remembers, I mean, like I said, Deion Jackson fumbled twice.
Yeah.
That took away
we
from
beat
us.
ourselves.
And then Zay Jones in the back of the end zone had that amazing one-handed grab for the touchdown. So, and then also Trevor Lawrence in that game had 4 of the top 8 next gen passes that were uncompletable completed against us in that game. So, I mean,
everything went right for them.
Exactly. It's football, man. Sometimes you got to be. It's better to be lucky than good. So, we just need some of those to start turning our way.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Kwity Paye is back tomorrow, correct?
Yes, he is.
So that definitely helps us as far as getting pressure on Trevor, hopefully lighten him up a little bit, or at least putting the pressure on him, forcing him into some mistakes. We just can't let him sit back there and just get these highlight reel throws on us anymore. That just can't happen. Robert, you ain't lying, man. Back surgery is no joke, brother. He says, give Leonard a chance. Back surgery is no joke. He had it last year. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you've recovered well. But that's a killer, man. You're talking about something you use every day, every moment of your day. So, yeah, can't imagine going out there and hitting dudes on a football field with back surgery.
Yep, absolutely. And then David is saying here our run defense hasn't been too bad. If we can force Lawrence to throw a lot, we can get a few turnovers. I think that's where we honestly want to be. I mean, like I said before, we obviously gave up the 380 to CJ Stroud. Trevor Lawrence didn't even have 300 against us, but we give up a lot of yards as far as passing wise and whatnot. So it's one of those situations where it's like our defense hasn't been too terrible at all.
Yeah.
Like we had the one bad half against Kyron Williams, and then like I said, we gave Ridley the big half as well. So it's just one of those situations where not really too worried about one guy. I think the problem is just we need to make sure we game plan and do not let a guy that's supposed to take over. And so I think we can hold down Ridley. It's going to be all about creating turnovers and holding Trevor Lawrence down. So that's where I think we're at there.
Welcome back, Matt. Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, Matt is back with us. Nathan is saying, "I hope Molly Cock has a breakout game." I think he already had his breakout game against the Rams. I think, or was it the Rams? No,
that was one reception for a touchdown.
Aren't we?
That was the Rams.
Aren't we a little bit past though? Like the possible Molly breakout. Like he's had some decent moments for us.
He's been on the team for like 5 years. Yeah, dude. If you're still waiting on a breakout, you might want to just move on to the next person.
Yeah, I appreciate the optimism, Nathan, man. But what I really believe is we have 3 tight ends behind him that we could have any one of them break out and be a start because all of them have shown massive potential.
I personally want to see Ogletree break out. Like we had Granson
flashes.
Granson had some big games this year. I want to see Ogletree have some major success. But outside of the tight ends, because I mean, it seems like Shane Steichen's offense doesn't use them as much, as we expected them to, considering we had 50 tight ends on a 53-man roster at one point. I want to see Josh Downs get in the end zone. If I'm talking about anybody having some kind of a game tomorrow, that's where
I was just about to go. I want to see these receivers break out. The secondary for Jacksonville is ranked like I want to say like 26. So I think it's definitely one of those situations where we need to target and get after them. I want to see Paul coming up here in the comments and stuff. He's saying we need to stop Calvin Ridley and put pressure on Lawrence. He also said who's going to be on Ridley. We don't play that type of defense where we're looking to lock down receivers. So that's not really going to be a part of the game plan.
So we do get this question every week. Who is going to be on certain receivers? And we answer it every week the same way. We don't play a man-to-man lockdown defense, right? It's not like back in the day when we had Vontae Davis and he was shadowing receivers from one side of the field to the other, or Darius Butler was shadowing slot receivers from one side to the other. This is a defense where they're going to play the side that they play on no matter where that receiver is.
Right.
Absolutely. The only person we really see moving about is Kenny Moore.
Yeah, and my concern is how we're going to cover inside the numbers, right? What are you doing, Eloisa?
She want to say hi.
No, she's getting her tablet, I think. But yeah, so I didn't know she came in here. She popped her head up behind me. But yeah, I want to see our defense close up the middle of the field, right? Because we do pretty good on the perimeter. Yeah. We do pretty good on the sideline outside the numbers, but inside the numbers is where we really struggle. That's where we really get lit up. So
I think it's part of that zone too. Like guys just getting underneath and cutting in on us. It's just hard to beat that.
And then that leads me into this question, right? Or this comment right here where he says, can't forget about Travis Etienne and can't let him get out of the backfield, right? Because I'm not afraid of stopping him in the run game.
Agreed.
That's not what I'm concerned. I'm worried about him when he is in the passing game now, because we can stop him in the run game all day, but Trevor Lawrence will use him in the passing game.
Right.
To get him, in the open field.
Yeah, I'm really not too worried about ETN as long as Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner are playing. That's why I didn't really mention him. As long as our trenches are there, I think this isn't one of those situations where you got to really watch out to a guy too much because of the fact that he didn't have anything until he had that breakout run towards the end of the game. So, like I said, it's all about getting pressure on Lawrence, creating turnovers, holding that, setting that edge, and not letting them just run around and play backyard football. So, if you look at the 2 touchdowns that we did end up giving up, it was when Trevor Lawrence had a lot of time in the pocket, and then you had the stunt between Quiddy and Deo where they ran into each other that just gave him more time, miscommunication on the back end.
Right.
So,
I
don't think this is I don't think this is the same.
Out.
This is not going to be the same game that the Colts and Jacksonville Jaguars played week 1, and I'm pretty sure we shouldn't have 2 fumbles from our starting running back in this game as well. So it's just
Jordan Sparrow, ETN did not do work on us last game.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, 100% disagreement. The only running back that's really did work was Kyron Williams for a half of a football game. Other than that, our front 7 locks down the run game, man. I've genuinely, I don't know if I've ever been less concerned about running backs.
I'm pretty sure we're second in the league in yards per attempt on defense.
And for what it's worth, man, you'd be hard pressed to find a bigger fan of Travis Etienne in this group than me. And I'm not worried about this kid at all, dude. He's a great running back, but against this defense, I'm not worried about him.
No, not at
all. Also, I see you guys going back and forth about Morley Cox. He cleared concussion protocol today, so he will play unless there's anything that comes up. But Daniel McMillan is saying here, let's see Pierce get a breakout game and get a strong showing in production. His best catch, Jacksonville. Oh, his catch beat Jacksonville last year at home. I think this is one of those things where some people have asked about Alec Pierce. I've seen another comment down there. I think it's just one of those situations where he hasn't really been too much part of the game plan. So if you look at our receivers, Josh Downs is just impossible not to game plan for just because the guy is always open. So he's going to take away from Alec Pierce immediately just because he's different. Even Michael Pittman Jr. in that fact, because he just can play different. Michael Pittman Jr. is obviously your number 1 receiver just because that's how the guy plays. That's who he is. Alec Pierce just needs to be planned more. He needs to plan for more. Needs to be a part of the game plan instead of just blocking and running deep routes. So I don't know if this is necessarily going to be his game, but Steichen is the type of guy that will go back and look at that film and see some things that work well. He just hasn't had a chance to show it, so I wouldn't give up on him too quick. But I also wouldn't say that he's going to be the main focal point of this game.
I will say, coming into the season, I was extremely concerned about the wide receiver room. And I think being, 5 weeks in now?
Yep.
I'm not as concerned about our receiving room. Not as much because Michael Pittman Jr., everybody knows, you can go back and watch whatever episode you want. I've always said I didn't know if Michael Pittman Jr. was truly our number 1. I understood that he was,
slotted.
He was hindered because of, multiple different quarterbacks. But he has proven to me this year that dude is our number 1 wide receiver. I will go as far as saying he's a true wide receiver 1. So when people keep saying we need to go get a true wide receiver 1, I kind of disagree with it. 2, I think Alec Pierce has been playing extremely well the last 2-3 games. He's been drawing penalties to me is just as good as getting a catch downfield.
Yeah. Moves the ball.
If there's anyone on this team that's hella good at drawing a pass interference, it's Alec Pierce, and I will take it. I don't care. It doesn't go on his stat sheet, and that's what everybody's looking at. Sure. Yeah, it doesn't go on the box score, but hey, it moves the ball down the field. It could move the ball 15, 20 yards down the field because that's as far as he's going to go before we throw it to him.
Yeah. Man, and I'll tell you guys what, too, because we talk about breakout games. We talk about Alec Pierce, but I don't want to miss it while we're in the moment. Josh Downs is having a fucking incredible rookie season, man. This kid had 97 yards last week, and no one's talking about it outside of us, man. Like,
there's only one receiver
cooking.
There's only one rookie receiver having a better season, and that's Puka.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's because he's got a quarterback who's throwing the ball to him every play.
Josh Downs is a real one, and we cannot let this go unnoticed, man. Like we talk about the wide receiver room every year for years now. We have one, dude. We have one, and his name is Josh motherfucking Downs.
I personally think Josh Downs is the best wide receiver that Ballard has drafted, in my opinion.
It may be.
Now, I'm not saying it's like a wide receiver 1 type thing. I'm talking about full athleticism coming out of the slot, the type of weapon this man is, the amount of ways we can use him, and we haven't even used him in all the ways that we could.
We're just at the tip of the iceberg, man. Like we're just getting a look at it, but This kid's going to be something special.
This comment up here has been sitting here for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I want to agree with this because I still can't say his name. I said it a few episodes ago. I'm not going to say it. Samson.
Ebukam.
I questioned why we let Yannick go, and I need to stop questioning Ballard.
This guy
we let Yannick go. We got a better quality, better production in every aspect of that position out of Samson all season. And I'm absolutely here for it.
Absolutely. I was trying to tell everybody when this move was made. I was telling everybody he was going to be a better all-around player.
Go back to the episodes. You said it.
I was telling everybody Ballard was cooking when he made the move because everybody thinks you got to see stats on the stat sheet. It's kind of the same thing that we get to about the kind of things that we get about Alec Pierce, just like Matt was saying with the PIs. We're also not paying attention to what he does in the blocking. Like Nathan, I get what you're saying about Pierce, but look, I am a Paris Campbell truther. I love Paris Campbell, but Pierce has been healthier and doing way more than Paris Campbell's ever done.
It was the right move.
And he stuck around for 4 years. We're not cutting the guy. If we let him walk after year 4, then that's a totally different thing.
He ain't getting
cut. We gotta relax. He is not getting cut unless we go get some major talent to replace him with. But this was supposed to be a Samson Ebukam preach here. Dude's just been phenomenal in the run game. He's been one of the highest pass rate winner guys, also getting a lot of pressures on people. So it's been great for him. And we get Quiddy back, so that's even going to help him even better. So we get to see this D-line get back to full strength. So
tough. Dude.
Just love to see it. I saw another comment in there. I can't see it again about Juju Brents, but my guy should have had an interception last week, but he played great defense on that play though. But I think this defense is going to come around and start to play.
My issue with Juju is, no, it's not really an issue because it's a development thing. It's a learning for him.
Right.
Is he's got that rookie. He's getting beat like a rookie on those sideline throws, letting receivers beat him in the routes to the outside. That's really all I see on Juju.
This was something too that this is way back in the drafts, but we talked about this over the offseason, I believe. It was like what is the most important throw that an NFL quarterback makes? And it's those sideline throws. And it's like you don't see that in the college game. So 100%, or at least not as much in the college game, right?
But let's also be fair. These people that are beating him was Matthew Stafford, which didn't really beat Juju. Juju really only had issues last week when he was covering a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. Right. It's
like, come on, man. Like that's years of experience on him. Like, I ain't even mad at the kid.
Yeah, that's 10, 11 years of experience as a wide receiver who's arguably one of the best receivers to play in the last 10 years. And against a guy who's playing in his second game last week as a starter. So I'm going to cut that guy a break. Yeah, I'm going to cut that guy a break. We won that game, so I'm not going to sit here and go on Juju like that.
Juju was still graded as one of the highest pass defenders in that game. We were playing a lot of the zone. And if you guys pay attention to where our linebackers played, we were keying in to stop the run. So regardless of that one big game that DeAndre Hopkins had, I could care less about it. The play that he didn't give up was the play that could have been a touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins, which Juju made the play on. So that's one that I'm not too worried about.
Not at all.
There.
He's going to be just fine. He's going to be just fine.
Grant Stewart. Yeah, so this guy was
he
on
played
the team.
Good last week, dude.
This guy was on the team to only be a special teams player, and due to injuries and stuff, he has been playing defense and playing well.
Waller can find some goddamn linebacker, boy, I tell you.
Boy. I thought he was a DB. Like he looks like a hybrid.
Olubi and Grant Stewart are two backup guys that are just like, make sure they stay on our team. Dude. Like I like those guys.
It might be another Zaire story, man. Like this kid, he's athletic. He flies around the field. He takes people's heads off. Like I'm not saying he's that, but give it a couple years. Like he might be another one we're talking about. Hey, we never thought this guy was going to be somebody, and now he is.
I want to see that as well. Chris is saying I want to see Trevor with a dirty jersey. We got to get after him. They are getting back their, I believe it's their right tackle. He's coming off a suspension, so hopefully Quiddy can still just put the work on him that he needs to.
And that's the way to beat this guy, man. Trevor Lawrence, like you got to give credit. This dude's so accurate, and he takes what the defense gives him. So the best way to beat him is just put him in the dirt, man. And having Quiddy back is going to help us tenfold.
Juju's not going to go one-on-one with
I was just about to say it's just not the way the Colts play. That's why I was shaking my head. We don't
play defense
that
like
way. All right. You want to get into some keys real quick, Matt?
Yeah. My first key, all right, and this is going to be the most important one, and we've said it every week. For the last 7 games in Jacksonville, we've averaged 2 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
We need to not do that tomorrow. All right. So key number 1 for me is definitely win the turnover battle. Now you say that, we say it every week because it's true. Every week you want to win the turnover battle, but if we're going to end the streak, we need to end the streak of turning the ball over twice in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So no turnovers. Good thing we can trust Gardner Minshew doesn't turn the ball over very much. The other thing is Zach Moss doesn't fumble very much. So as long as everybody else keeps their hands on the ball, we're good. Win the turnover battle, force turnovers, don't give the ball away.
Absolutely.
We need to continue to keep our red zone up. I think red zone is key tomorrow also. It's going to look a little different because of AR not being in there. AR, I believe, is one of the reasons why our red zone percentage is so high. So
77% with AR.
Yeah, I want to see Shane be able to figure it out with Gardner up there. And 2, I don't care if Calvin Ridley goes for over 150 yards tomorrow. I really don't. Just stop the run. Because if Calvin Ridley's going for 150 yards and we're stopping the run, we're winning the game. Simple as that.
Yeah.
We would have won the game the first game with Calvin Ridley having all those yards.
If we didn't fumble.
If we didn't have 2 fumbles.
Yeah, by DJ Jackson.
Or if we had a rushing game whatsoever. If we go back,
right.
It was
I think we
13 carries and 14 yards. So.
Yeah, that ain't happening tomorrow.
No.
They don't. That ain't happening tomorrow. So
it's a whole different game. It's a whole different game tomorrow.
Those are my simple keys, man. Turnovers, red zone, stop ETN.
Yeah, so my 3 keys of the game. So number 1 is going to be contain the edges. Contain the edges. That's what you have to do. Trevor Lawrence wants to get out on the edge. He wants to move the pocket around. He gets out on the edges. He can create plays with his legs. That's what we have to do. Got to contain those edges. Don't just give up space and let them just make plays how they want to.
Add to that. Also, don't let him run up the middle.
Yeah.
We contain the edges, but we have to be disciplined in the lanes because he will take it up the middle.
Yep.
For about 10, 12 yards for a first down. He ain't afraid to do that.
Absolutely.
Get that hair flowing.
Number 2 for me is going to be no turnovers. I mean, we are 3-0 when we don't turn over the ball. We need to keep up that stream. Keep that thing going. Don't turn over the football. Don't force passes that you don't need. Obviously, no fumbles. We need to keep the ball out of their hands. And then number 3, lastly, is going to be create turnovers. I think we're going to need 2. We're going to need 2 to beat this Jacksonville team that we haven't beat since 2014. You guys can see my name down there. Since we've won in Jacksonville. And we obviously cannot get swept. So I think those have to be the ones for me. It's going to be contain the edges and not let Trevor Lawrence create the plays. No turnovers. Create turnovers will be 2 and 3 for me. I think that's just one of those things that we're going to have because I think if we even come out of this game and we're just like split, no turnovers either way, I think that's still a game that Jacksonville can have us.
Yeah.
So,
man, right off the rip, I believe my first key would be just take we got to come out of the gates early and hot with this. Take the crowd out of it. Don't let them start doing that Duval shit. Like for the past 9 years now, we've let that shit ring in our ears and we lose there take the crowd out of it. Go up 10-0, 14-0 early. Like let's try to get out of the gates hot. On top of that, I want to take points where we can get them, especially because we're talking about red zone without Anthony Richardson. We expect it's not going to have as many opportunities when we're down there, right? So if it gets down to 4th and 2, 4th and 3, let's just take the points. Let's roll. Let's keep stacking these points. That would be my second.
Real quick, Trey, before you go on with that, I would like to say I will critique Shane on the times where he goes for it and doesn't take points. But I got to tell you guys, man, I am not mad at it. I'm
not mad.
I am not mad at the way this guy coaches because I also see another comment in here from Paul saying that we need to take the 3. I like the way Shane has said that the game will dictate whether we're going forward or not, and whether I can come back on this podcast and critique it the next week. I still like the way this dude is calling football games, the way he's going in the flow of the game and making calls and going forward and whatnot. There may be some that I dislike or don't, but I just like going with the flow of the game. I like it way better than Frank going, oh, well, the analytics said to go for it. No, dude, trust your gut. I'm not mad at your gut, dude. Don't give me the analytical stuff. If your gut said to go for it, I'm all for it. But go ahead, Trey.
No, yeah, 100% on that. I just mean the situations where we're down like close, like be it 4th and 3, whatever, 3 to go to the goal line. Like those close situations where you kind of trust we can run an option play or something, let AR scramble in there, do what he does. We don't have those options with Gardner Minshew, as efficient as he is. So in the type of game I expect it to be, with probably a lot of long drives, a lot of running, a lot of just – I kind of expect it to be a lower scoring game. I want to take those 3 points every time we can get them. I don't want to take too much risk unless we can afford it. So I would take the points in the situation we can get them. And then finally, I touched on it a little bit. My third point would be long drives. We saw it last week with that beautiful 7-minute drive, but – the less that Trevor Lawrence is on the field, the less he gets to pick us apart, hitting whoever he wants to. Like that whole just going 22 for 26 every time we fucking play him, and it drives me insane. Keep that dude off the field. Keep him sitting on the sideline brushing his hair, all right? Long drives every quarter, every time we get the ball. Let's hold it for 5, 6, 7 minutes. So those would be my 3 keys to win tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't stand when we let Trevor Lawrence do that, bro. And we did it week 1, and
efficient.
We had a huge conversation about that for some reason when he plays us, it's the most efficient games of his career, and it drives me fucking nuts. But if we do it like this, I saw this comment here by Chris. Bend don't break. We literally did this to Tennessee last week, and I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with it. We let up so many big plays last week, but they only scored one touchdown. They scored one touchdown. Yeah, one touchdown out of all those damn yards we let up to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. And you know what? We'll sit on the couch and we'll throw our hats and we'll and haw. But at the end of the day, they don't fucking score. So I don't care.
Agree. They were kicking field goals while we were scoring touchdowns, and I will take it every time.
100% correct.
1 for 5 in the red zone.
Hey, I'll take it every time. I trust Zaire down there.
You had me laughing my ass off when I walked out when you said have him keep sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, just sit over there and brush, man. Don't
brush
worry
your hair. Brush that hair, pretty boy.
Just stay over there, brother. It'll be all right. We're going to run a 7-minute drive over here with our 2 running backs, if you don't mind.
Yeah, see, you guys keep coming back with the take the points.
Just because we don't have AR down there. That's what I'm nervous about.
As a coach, to me, right? It fully depends. It depends on so many things, man. It depends on what's been working, what part of the game we're in. If it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't agree with doing it in the first and second quarter just because why?
Like, let's go ahead and stack.
Like, take the points.
Late game, I'm a little more, all right, let's go and get it.
I might be aggressive in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, it just fully depends on how much we're down. If we're down, if we're up, I'm taking points. How much we're up, but it also, what's working. Are we in rhythm? Are we in rhythm? Did we take penalties on this drive? Is our offense gassed?
Right.
Because that's got to come into play too. How is our offensive line feeling in this moment? Do I want to go for it on 4th and 2 and have them try and make a push and they're gassed? Like, I want to look at them. I don't just want to be like, was the defense gassed?
Yeah. I'll resonate too, though, man. I have not been mad about Shane's calling and him being aggressive.
Only week 1. Only week 1 when he did it. I was like, why are you going for it every time?
There's been maybe 2, maybe 3 calls on 4th down all season that I've been like, I don't know. I would have leaned the other way. But that's why he has the job and I don't, right? Like, this dude knows what the fuck he's doing. Far be it from me to question it. But yeah, by and large, I've been very happy with Shane's play calling. So it's not coming for him at all. But just in this situation with a game like this and with Gardner Minshew out there, I just rather take those 3 where we can get them and try to stack points as quickly as we can. I think if we're in that situation.
I think with Gardner, you do, because I think Gardner, Gardner's that guy that plays like Trevor Lawrence. He's just going to be efficient as fuck against you.
Take what they give him.
Rick Venturi keeps calling him the death by 1,000 paper cuts because
that's accurate.
He comes into a game and he beats you by throwing, 12 for 17.
Oh, that guy's open.
For like 185 yards and the 2 touchdowns, and he doesn't care. He's just throwing the ball. He's just picking you apart all game long. Dude. He'll take whatever you give him. And then Zach Moss is going to squeeze through a non-existing hole and gain 25 yards off of it.
Carry 3 men with him.
Did you see that? Did you see that run last week, bro?
Ridiculous.
That was epic. Ridiculous. I was like, it was that touchdown. It was like 7 yards or something. But dude, there was no hole. There was nothing.
Just
there.
made it. He just made it. He said, "This belongs here. I'm gonna make it here."
He slipped through.
I'll say it too, man. Last week, I mean, I definitely use it as just a shit talking point against the Titans, but credit to our guys too. Like partly because their tackling was so bad, but 90% of the plays last week, it took more than one dude to bring down a Colts player. Every single tackle they made against Pittman, against Moss, against anyone that had the ball required multiple tacklers. So part of that is our guys, too. Just elbows forward and just fighting for the yards. And then part of it is because Tennessee sucks. That's on them. But.
Number one rushing defense going into last
bullshit.
week, and they didn't look like
bullshit.
Bro, I had that argument with so many times. Y'all wasn't gonna run on us. We got a top tier run defense. Blah blah blah. I kept having to tell him. I was like sitting there debating with him, going back and forth. And I was like, bro, I watched that entire Titan game versus the Bengals, and I'm like. The Bengals just stopped running the ball for no
wasn't nothing
reason.
y'all did.
Joe Mixon was averaging like
5.5
yards.
5.5 at halftime, and then they just run the ball no more. And that's what I kept trying to tell people, just like when they would say, "Oh, Jonathan Taylor's never had more than like 60 yards against the Titans or whatever." I said he had 60 for 10 carries, and Frank stopped running the ball. He ended the game with 10 carries. I'm like, bro, this ain't the same coach no more. Like, I tried to tell
we're just going to keep running you over.
What will happen? Yeah. Was I expecting Zach Moss to go for 160? No. But I was trying to tell them, we will run the ball on you.
Bro, he had like 195 total with receiving yards included.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, y'all better stop playing.
Chad, I don't know if I see Minshew throwing for 300, man. It would be beautiful, though, that revenge game in Jacksonville, but I don't see it.
I'm going more like 230.
Yeah.
230.
Now Moss breaking 100, I could potentially
see that. I could definitely see that happen. I could see it happening because Jacksonville's run defense isn't the best.
Right.
I mean, we just beat the best rushing defense by 160 yards.
Yeah.
Killed him.
I will say I don't know, like Gardner Minshew has always seemed like a very laid back, super chill guy, right? Super cool guy. So I don't know how much like revenge and personal, like I don't know how much he makes things personal, but if there was ever a game where it'd probably be personal for him, it's got to be in Jacksonville, right?
So I
don't
know
if this is the first time he's played back there, but
so I'll say this: Colts are right now 2-0 on the road.
2-0
on the road, 3-0 with Minshew.
Yeah.
And I really think that he wants this game bad. I know, like he said it. He said, "Oh, it's just another game to me." But bro,
like internally,
he beat us. He beat us twice.
He's got to be like, man, like I had something down there. Like he's got to feel like he should have been their guy down there, whether it's true or not, whatever. But him as a man has got to feel like that should have been my team, and they took it from me. Fuck you. I'm balling on you.
And I can tell you right now, the defense is lit up for this game.
Gotta be.
Every interview I've seen with any defensive player, they're hungry.
Yeah, they said Jacksonville stole one from us. So
they've had literally
got to come
long.
Literally said they stole it from us.
They did
one, and they're not. Oh, and Zaire, boy, Zaire, I haven't seen him so talkative ever.
He's gonna pop somebody,
bro. This year,
we're gonna get a highlight reel tomorrow.
This year's Zaire's got me hyped,
dude. If we lose tomorrow, we are cursed. There is no reason we lose this game tomorrow. Right? I'm just gonna go out and say it. Like this is my lock this week is us winning. There's zero reason.
Oh,
so unless there's a superstitional curse happening, we're winning this goddamn game tomorrow. All right.
I really do have a good feeling. But you know what? Last time I had a really good feeling, we ended up being 23-0 at one point, and I was like, I'm not gonna go into a game that confident.
Oh, it's not confident. It's just angry FU energy that I got for these Jacksonville Jags tomorrow.
You know what it is? It's Grover and Buck playing. It's JT and Moss playing. It's Shane. Well, this is the key right here. That was Shane's first game as a head coach. Trying to figure out how he's going to utilize his receivers, how he's going to utilize all these other guys that he has, and now he's figuring it out.
That's facts.
And that's the part that Jacksonville's got to understand. Shane knows how to use MPJ. Shane knows how to use Josh Downs. Shane now knows how to use Zach Moss. Shane knows how to use JT.
Yep.
And Gus isn't going to let you do the same thing twice.
That's true.
Well, we'll see. I'm still iffy about Gus. He got me on a week-to-week basis with.
He's got me on a quarter-to-quarter basis, dog. Like,
yeah.
I still ride with Gus, man. I'll be the optimist here. I'm still good with Gus.
I don't know, man. Gus got me kind of iffy, man, because this one game I'll be giving the dude praises, and I'm like, yeah, he got it. He figured it out. Colby, the next game, I'm like, bro, we really going back to this crap? And then I'm like, okay, yeah, we got him in 3rd and long. And I'm like, why am I getting excited about 3rd and long? Because we know what Gus is going to do. So I'm iffy with Gus. I'm still iffy with Gus.
Hey, Colby, don't text me in the middle of the game because I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to answer you.
Afterward, maybe. Afterward.
Yeah, afterward. Because he will text me like partway through the game trying to talk shit if they're winning.
Don't worry about it. No text tomorrow. No text tomorrow. Don't worry about Kobe. You just go ahead and you put that phone off. You put it on Do Not Disturb. You ain't gonna need it tomorrow. We're gonna be up. All right.
Yeah, you good. Pittman will have a big day.
Yeah, your fantasy team's gonna win, and you can turn the game off early. All right. He said he never talks shit.
That's
all I do, bro. That's all I do.
So it sounded like Trev is locking in the Colts over the Jaguars.
Yes,
we also have Zach, who locked in. That is his lock of the week, the Colts over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know who Damon had as his lock. Matt, who was your lock for the week?
Hold on. So Zach is Colts, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me write this down. Damon, we don't know.
We do not.
I'll get that later before I make that graphic.
Yes, sir.
Me. Y'all ready for this?
Oh shit.
He's locking the shoe.
Locking him.
You know about it, baby.
Locking him. I think this is.
Wow, we got
last week
clean sweep. Clean sweep.
Yep. No, not for me. I am locking the San Francisco 49ers over the Cleveland Browns.
That's a good lock. That's a good lock.
No, so I'm actually picking the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game over us.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
We can't have it.
Yeah, sorry, man. I just what was it? It was I want to say it was like a year or two ago where one of my boys, he was a Titans fan, and he was talking about the game or whatever, and I was picking the Titans to beat us. I want to say with Matt Ryan, or it might have been with Carson. But until I see it, so I gotta go Jags over.
That's our firing squad shooting at DeMarco, making a bad pick.
Hey, they missed. I'm like Josh Dobbs dodging his darts.
DeMarco reverse trend.
Everybody, make sure to fade DeMarco's pick, man. We're not having it. We're not having it. Hey, when the Colts win tomorrow, everyone gets a free pass.
You know what? I want to go out on a limb here. Hold on.
I locked the 49ers. I'm not locking the Jacksonville. I'm just saying that's the pick right now.
But here's the Niners. But the Niners against Cleveland without having Deshaun Watson, I mean, even with Deshaun Watson, that's just an easy lock. I'll lock 49ers every week this year. I really could see them go.
They might go.
Or 17.
They're so fucking good.
That team is just – and you know what? Real quick, sidebar. I think – who was it? Stephen A. Smith? Man needs to shut his fucking mouth. Brock Purdy's not elite because – He's just a system quarterback. Now, I
He's-
got it.
No. That was Shannon Sharp. That was Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. That's it. Same person. They both have the same attitude, and they're both dumb as fuck. I hated that he said that, and I'm like, isn't the point of the NFL to build an elite team and an elite system? Does it matter if the quarterback is elite or not?
Why are we penalizing Brock for having a good team?
Bro, we do this every time. We did it with Tom Brady. We did it with Patrick Mahomes. We did it, we do it with everyone. Is he going to be this good without this player?
Who cares?
Do this without
he has those players.
He has them. The system.
Your boy talking shit.
You're right. That's why we said it on the internet.
Yeah, that's why I said it on the internet. He can come at me later.
That dude's like 6'6". I ain't never saying shit to him.
I don't give a damn. I'm just saying, like, isn't that the whole point though? Have an elite system.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Like, it doesn't. I don't give a shit. Brock Purdy is playing better than your quarterback.
Oh, what? Would he do this with practice squad receivers? No, they suck.
I don't care. I don't have to see that right now. Yeah. Like, leave that man alone. But I want to say, I think Damon is going to lock the Colts because he has the last 3 weeks. So he's been locking the Colts every week.
Yeah, man. I picked the Colts week 1. We stunkered against them. But down there in Jacksonville, man, I'm just I can't keep doing it. I can't keep doing it. I gotta, as soon as they show me, I'll get back to picking them. So right now,
Curse has gone too long.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna pick the Colts next week.
If there's any of my family watching this, I apologize for a statement I made last week on the episode. I said that the Cowboys were better than the Eagles, and I'm going to sign my L.
Yeah, you go.
Because they are not better than Philly right now. And I think I overhyped them last week. I thought they were a good team. And then I thought they were going to keep it close with the Niners. And the Niners just kind of made them look like rookies.
Took off
Pep Warner
on that ass.
Yeah. And I apologize. There it is.
That's fair.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Also, Panthers, you did this to yourself. You could have watched any press conference of Frank Wright as a Colt and seen that you shouldn't have hired his ass. This man sounds like Joe Biden doing an interview for football. He's talking about, well, we need to do less.
I'll tell you what, though.
What does that even mean, need to do less? You're not doing anything.
I'll tell you what they're doing, though. What they're doing every week is getting 1% better, all right? It takes a long time to get to 100% better. But they're getting 1% better every week.
Hey, guess what?
By the end of the year, there will be 17% better. All right, you can guarantee that.
He's not in Indianapolis no more. He ain't gonna get to 17%. I tell you that much. David,
he might be gone before then.
David,
I appreciate that, David. Make sure to follow us on everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify. If you guys watch us on here on the weekends, you're watching right now, go ahead and subscribe to us on Spotify. Listen again. Start putting some reviews out there on YouTube and Spotify for us so that, people start seeing us when they look up Colt stuff.
Hey, yeah, David, make sure you let your Australian brothers know, man. We're here every Saturday, bro.
Every Saturday. I don't know what time zone that is for you, but I'll tell you.
I don't know, but we'll take you, man. We love it.
Yeah, I think that's
this time. It's this time every Saturday.
I think he's 6 hours ahead of us.
I couldn't even tell you.
I think so, because he said he watches the game at 3 a.m.
That's right, yeah.
No,
I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
LSU,
that's 7 hours ahead.
LSU is waxing Auburn right now, bro.
Holding it down. Hey, we needed it. We almost put up a stinger last week.
We're also, like Matt said, we are on Spotify Music and we're on Apple Music. So if you don't have time to catch the show,
it's not Apple Music, it's Apple Podcasts
or Apple Podcasts.
That's a separate thing, I guess.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts. If you check that out as well, we are also on there. So if you don't have time to catch the show, or you do work like me where you can't always check out your phone, you can definitely just put that on and you can listen as well. So we try to make sure we keep everything vocally and visually. So for anybody that's out there, appreciate you.
Yes, sir, Paul. Go Tigers, baby. Let's go.
Hey, I thought Bama was going to drop one to Arkansas today.
That was a close one. Hey, how about a Caleb Williams stinker over there against the Fighting Irish?
I haven't checked since, but they said 3 INTs in the first half. So
they're like 3-24 right now.
3-24.
Hey, Notre Dame stomping that ass right now, man.
Ooh, so much for
that's
the
a tough
Pac-12
game.
and the college.
Washington.
Washington and Oregon had a great game. I
was a
told
hell of a
Zach about Michael Penix, and he didn't want to listen to me. I was telling
That
him
boy's good. That boy's
he get a
UW
good coach.
UW came out with it, right? Because of a missed field goal.
I didn't see the game. I just seen.
I think they came out with it. I think Oregon missed a field goal. So
I didn't see the missed field goal. I just seen the
UW won
they had a bad
36-33.
possession. Yeah, they got the ball back, drove down, kicked a field goal, and they ended up getting the win. But my Gators did their thing. My Gators did they
finally.
Y'all almost didn't do your thing.
What you mean? What you mean? Finally and almost did. We 5-2. What you mean?
You almost didn't do your thing. I mean,
hey, ain't no such
you had
thing
a really
as
clutch
almost.
play at the end. Nope.
Hey, when you go back
there's
and look
not.
at the
You're
schedule, do you look at the scores or you look at the W's? You look at the dubs.
Oh, in college, I guess you do. I guess you look at both in college.
Nah,
In college, you look at the scores too, man.
Yeah, you look at everything. You look at everything. Yes, you do. When they make up these playoffs, they definitely
But just
do.
to bring it back, tomorrow, all we care about is getting that W, man. I don't care
that's
how
all I care
ugly
about.
the
I don't
game
care.
it is.
The NFL doesn't matter. It's wins and losses. Wins and
Get
losses.
that W. Go first place in the division, man. That's all
hell, the Giants went 7-9 and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, how about that?
9-7, other way around. But yeah,
9-7, won a Super Bowl. So
hey, all you gotta do is get in the dance. That's all that matters.
Yep, twice actually. I think they went 9-7 both times.
Hey, just so it's not lost on anybody, man. Tomorrow, already this early in the year, has such huge playoff implications for both us and Jacksonville. Like whoever comes out and gets it done tomorrow, that's going to be huge later on in the year.
As a matter of fact, just like Trev just was pointing out there, if you look at the percentages of this, if Indianapolis wins tomorrow, we have a 70% chance to win the division and make the playoffs.
Man,
if we lose, we drop all the way down to 35%.
It's a long way up for whoever
that is the biggest of any team's Week 6 matchup.
To me, this is a huge stretch. This is a huge stretch for us with Jacksonville. I really think we could pull this one out. We'd be sitting at 4-2, 3-1 in the division. We'd be one game up on Jacksonville, and then the Saints at home, Cleveland at home, and then what is it?
Winnable games.
New England and Germany.
Chad, I didn't pick us to win, so I can't say when we win.
So,
hey, Chad, I picked us, so I will say when we win tomorrow. Chad's speaking right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, Colts were so slept on coming into this season just because of, everybody was like rebuild, and now
they didn't
the Colts are getting national attention, and it's crazy. I mean, Good Morning Football has had a Colt on almost every week this year. They've had I think MPJ was on there, Zaire Franklin was on there. We've had people to vote for like players of the week all day, every week.
Yeah. We're back, dude. We're back. That's all it is.
You said
we're back.
It was a typo.
Yeah, we've got some pretty game. We got some good games we can win. I mean, I think we can beat the Saints. The Saints offense isn't as high powered as everyone 100%. Says that. Sure, they went 34-0 against New England. New England is New England right now.
Yeah.
I remember seeing in the group chat for mine and DeMarco's fantasy group, I think it was what's his name? Jake asked what happened to Hunter Henry. I'm like, he plays for New England.
That's about it.
Him and Ramondre Stevenson been averaging like 2 points in fantasy a week.
Yeah, bro. I had Stevenson in one of my leagues, and I've been trying to find another running back to replace him with. I replaced him with Perrine because they were saying Javonte Williams was supposed to miss Thursday, and then he ended up playing, so Perrine didn't get shit but one reception and then a fumble, so I got 1 point from him. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I picked up the kid McLaughlin. McLaughlin.
This is the league. This is the league that I'm in. That I had Nick Chubb, and then Nick Chubb got hurt, and that just completely destroyed my season. I started the season 2-0, and I've lost every game since. And it's like every team I've played has had one of those crazy players that just randomly go off. Like David Montgomery, the 1 week got like 40-something points.
Holy crap, dude!
I forget. Yeah, they're as far ahead as they could be, dude. Yeah.
Hey, so you get Monday football.
David, yeah.
You don't watch football on Sundays.
At least here in Central Time, it's 8:45 Saturday night, bro. So good morning to you.
It is 6:44 on Saturday. It's 6:45 for me on a Saturday.
Because how the time zone goes, it starts in Oceania and goes all the way around to us.
That is insane.
That's
I would be knocked out right now.
For real.
Yeah, that's.
Oh no, actually, I guess technically you're wide awake. You're just now getting. I mean,
7:45 in the
your
morning.
day. You're out doing your thing. That's crazy, man.
Where are you from, Trev?
Yeah.
You got
Man, I'm from so far south I could spit in the gold, brother. I grew up just outside of Lafayette. I'm more in central Louisiana now, man. It's cool to see another Louisiana Coast fan, though. Glad we're holding it down, bro.
Yeah, man. What was it? Yeah, I have Ramondre Stevenson in 2 separate leagues, and I've pretty much just been trying to hold on to him by threads with the hope that he's gonna get one of these games together that he can shake out of it. But luckily I picked up Jeff Wilson off the waiver wires, and then like I said, I'm gonna start JT and Zach Moss. I'm benching Ramondre Stevenson, so I'd rather get 4 points from JT or Zach Moss rather than get 2 points from Ramondre Stevenson. So.
Zach Moss in that league, in the league I'm in, that I've been trying to be heavily competitive, has been on 3 different teams, and everyone keeps dropping him. And he was in the waiver. He was in the waiver pool after the game against the Titans. Right after the game, I put in a waiver claim for him, and I didn't get him. And I was pissed because I was like, that would have fixed my running back issues right there. I've been trying to get him all year. Every week I put in a waiver claim for him. Every week I put in a waiver claim. Why?
Because Ramondre Stevenson ain't it.
No, I'm talking about Zach Moss.
Oh, my bad. I thought
Moss,
you said
yeah, I've been trying to get him every week. He gets dropped by every team that picks him up. They pick him up 1 week and then they drop him, and I'm like, I don't understand.
They don't know what they're doing.
They're waiting for JT because JT came back last week, so somebody dropped him.
Everybody thought, yeah.
And Damon also locked Indy as well.
Yeah, I figured. I already wrote it down next to his name. I told you he was going to.
But yeah, I've been holding on to like all my players. People have been offering me crazy trades because in one league I was 4-0 until I lost AR and Justin Jefferson in the same week, and both of them gave me 4 points. So that was the only game I lost. But people was trying to trade for me and get some of my players. But I'm like, nah, I got Gino. I'm gonna hold on to Gino.
And that league with you, and that league with you on NFL.com fantasy, whatever. Someone tried to trade me this week, Cam Akers and someone else for Christian McCaffrey. I'm like,
get the fuck out of here.
That's my cousin CJ. He want to give you the ugliest trades he could possibly find on his team.
Declined him so quick.
And take your best player.
I saw that, declined it. So I'm not getting rid of Christian McCaffrey. That dude's my MVP.
He might be the MVP this year.
Yeah, he been trying to trade some wild trades for years now, and it ain't never worked for him. This just happened to be his worst year.
Yeah,
that's tough.
I'm actually doing pretty decent in that league.
CJ Stroud, appreciate you, D, for coming in.
Yes, sir.
Zach Moss got to steal this game for me. Yeah, I got, like I said, I got Zach and JT, so I'm not even too worried about it. I'm gonna start them both and know they're gonna both get more than Stevenson. So,
hey, I forgot the biggest key to the game tomorrow is Deion Jackson is not taking the field, so we 100% have a much higher chance of winning tomorrow strictly because of that.
Hey, he ready for a revenge game in week 7 or 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's gonna fumble it to us this time, and that'll be revenge.
That's what I was saying to Matt and Ashley. That was funny. He got Puka in the 6th round of fantasy. Hey man, that's definitely got to be a steal because I didn't even know dude until
a lot of people didn't. Man.
He's literally just the Islander version of Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, they got 2 of them.
Literally, now they got 2 of them. When Cooper Kupp comes back, I'm just putting them both on each side of the field.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp went crazy as well, too.
Good luck. Good Lord.
Man.
Matthew Stafford's not going to know who to throw to.
It's a good problem to have.
Man, we should have won that fucking game.
I can't believe it. That's gonna be one that we look back on for a while and be like, how the hell did we lose that shit?
We could be fucking 4-1 right now.
We could be 5. We could be 5-0.
We could be 5-0. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. We about to be 4-2.
Dude, yeah. Last year at this point, we were already like, we were not talking like this. Like, hey, we've been in every game. We were
in every game last year too. We were in every game last year too, but we just knew that the offense wasn't moving the ball. The only reason we were in,
we never looked this good.
Defense, yeah,
we never looked this good.
Even with Minshew, bro. Minshew played what from the middle of the first quarter last week?
The
I
the
want to say it was
end of
after
the
that.
The end of the first?
second. The end of the second. The end of
It's
the
mainly in
second.
the second half, but yeah.
Yeah. No, the end of the second. So I want to say it was probably about 5-6 minutes into the second quarter.
And we played better.
That's that experience too, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if AR didn't get hurt there, he was starting to eat. I was ready
Oh,
for
yeah.
the game. Like
That's what I like
my
about
boy,
AR.
that's
AR
why
gets
I was mad because in every league I took Anthony Richardson in like the 9th or 10th round. Like literally nobody was looking at him
Nobody
at all.
believes.
And dude was just giving me 24 to 30 every time he was playing, and he only played like halves of football games. Like it was insane that he was going crazy like that.
What's up, Damon?
Coming live from the childhood bedroom. We just got done wrapping up. How's that going?
Is that
We're
the
here,
old,
man.
That's the old school whack shack?
Get that blue light on there. Let's look around.
No, don't put the blue light on.
Oh, here you go. Here's a graduation. How's y'all's night going?
My boy was
Ready,
freshly
man.
shaved.
Ready
He
for
wasn't
tomorrow.
going nowhere.
Good. What's been a debate tonight?
No
We
debate.
haven't
How much we're gonna win by tomorrow?
Actually,
loving
the
it.
debate,
Marco doesn't pick us.
the debate that was I was just about to say the debate that everybody was cooking me because I said the Colts weren't going to win because I picked the Jags. So, it's one of those things, So if you see my name, it's the question marks over there.
I'll tell you what.
It's like, are we gonna end it or no? I'm gonna just say no until I see it.
It's time. It's been long enough. We gotta break that curse, man. I've had enough of it.
Absolutely.
I got a question. What if this winning streak or continued greatness continues? You think we push for a corner or wide receiver anytime before the trade deadline? Do you think that's even a possibility? You think we're just going to ride this thing out?
So I still understand the idea of wanting to make a push for someone, but at the same time, like I said earlier, I'm not concerned about adding anything to our wide receiver room. I think they're starting to really cook, in my opinion, especially with Josh. Josh Downs had 97 yards quietly last week. I didn't even realize it until after the game that this man had 97 yards. When I looked at the box score, I was like, where did that come from? And then MPJ is really coming back to who he was, and then Ed Gardner, I think, is perfect quarter.
This motherfucker changed his name on me.
Y'all muted my boy Matt.
Fucking mute me, motherfucker.
That's tough. Hey, great nickname, Matt.
Yeah. We got Paul in here too, agreeing with you as well, Matt, saying maybe wide receiver. He says he thinks we got good corners, but he just thinks we need to feed Alec Pierce more. My issue with Alec Pierce is I don't know. I don't like his. I don't know. It maybe it's a skill set thing, but I personally don't see him open as much as I would like.
You would have loved the comment earlier because a bunch of people in here was coming in talking about Alec Pierce. But yeah, it's like Matt said. I don't think we really need to go push for anybody. I mean, obviously you can.
The brakes on.
I guess it would just depend on how we lost. Like if receivers are just getting jammed up and our
dropping
toast the whole game.
If we look like the Ravens,
exactly. Then I could understand and see it. But
it depends on who it is. Jerry Jeudy, I'm not on Jerry Jeudy.
Oh God,
I'm not on this Jerry Jeudy train. I don't know.
That was my next point.
I don't know why everybody's so hyped. If I want anybody out of Denver, since they're about to go on a clearance yard sale, I want Patrick Surtain. That's it.
PS2.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
it.
The rumor is he's in these talks too. So,
but the idea.
The rumor is he's untouchable.
But I saw
different rumors.
I'm also kind of against it because at the same time, we're winning games with a secondary that is rookies developing.
Yeah.
These guys are getting quality snaps right now. And we're still winning games. I mean, like I said earlier, Damon wasn't here, but we can go ahead and let up 150 yards to Calvin Ridley. But if we're stopping teams in the red zone and only letting up 3 points each time they get down there, I'm okay with that.
Good players are going to get theirs. I agree with you 100%. Good. How many? Calvin Johnson went for 150 to 200 yards a game, and they won Winless seasons.
Nothing,
Winless seasons.
yeah.
Winless seasons. You know what I mean?
16.
0-16. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. Good players, but our attitude tomorrow for say this happens is going to be significantly different because it's extremely difficult to watch a consistent meltdown of a secondary.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When it happens, we're getting mad as they're moving down the field, right? As these big chunk plays happen.
Of course, yeah.
But once the chunk plays happen and then they're at that 20 or closer to the goal line, they're in that red zone. Those chunk plays are gone already. Yeah. You can't do any more chunk plays. So we can get those stops. And I'm okay. And I'm getting mad as the drive is happening. But then I'm like, okay, I'll take 3 there. And then hope to God that Gardner Minshew comes out and just drives down the field. If we score touchdowns versus their field goals, I'm okay. I'll be frustrated during the game. But at the end of the day, when the game's over and we got that W in there, I'm good with it.
But that was also, to be fair to our defense, that was also Darrell Baker guarding him the whole game. What happened to him the next week?
Who? Oh yeah.
That was Baker. That was Baker.
Yeah.
Baker.
And this week it's gonna be Juju and Jalen Jones.
Which I like.
Yeah, Darrell Baker hasn't seen the field since.
Dude, that is something too that we've touched on it before, but like the level of accountability from Shane Steichen from day one since he's taken over has been night and day compared to what we've had the last few years. So that's been so refreshing to see. Like, obviously, you don't want to see a guy get benched. You don't want to see a guy's career take a step back. But accountability, man. If you're not getting it done, this coach holds you to the standard. He's going to let you know, and he's going to sideline you and get somebody out there that will get it done.
I'm just going to say this, too. I know y'all are shaking y'all's heads. I don't disagree with this all the way. I don't.
No, I don't. With this comment, I'm not shaking my head at the comment. I agree, because here's my thing. My issue with Pierce is his consistency.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
He will make a good contested catch down the field, and we're like, yeah, there's AP. Yeah, we do it in the group chat every time. And then
third and 3.
There he is.
3rd and 3 drop.
Yeah,
dump route dropped. It doesn't even make sense.
It's just one of those things. And again, I know I keep saying it, but just pump the brakes on this guy. Like, I don't want to cut him yet. Like, there's comments in here talking about cut Alec Pierce, get rid of him. Well, I'm not there, dude. Like, obviously he needs to show improvement. He needs to do better. He's had faults this year, but we've also seen encouraging things, just like every other rookie, every other second-year player ever. So I don't know why it seemed to get a spotlight on Pierce, maybe just because he's a receiver. But man, I want to give this guy a chance. Like, it's not like like DeMarco said earlier, we're not paying him big money. It's not like we're losing anything on this. He's a rookie, so let's let him keep working. Let's let him develop, and there's going to be some frustration along the way.
My problem with the Alec Pierce Hayes is just like we just said, like, we're not playing this guy big time money, and it's not like he's a number 2. He's already sliding to a number 3 at this point, and he's only in year 2. But my other thing is people will come with the next comment and say, hey, we should trade for Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy has just as many drops as anybody since he came into the league. So my thing is when you say, oh yeah, Alec Pierce is dropping the ball, he sucks, and then you say go trade for Jerry Jeudy, I'm like, do you not look at what he's been doing?
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy was dropping wide open touchdown passes when other guys were his quarterback. So I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense to hate on one player because they do something that you don't like, and then you say trade for a player who does the exact same thing at a higher clip.
This is my biggest issue with Colts fans, right? And I don't know if it's in every fan base because I don't pay attention to every fan base, but it's a clear issue in this fan base. It happens all the time. They see one rumor on Twitter, someone screenshots it, they crop it out, they share it, goes all over the place, and Colts fans are like, I want this guy. I want him. I
don't blame them.
But hold on, but they're like, but they don't even look at the player. They just see a name. They see that the Colts are possibly pursuing, have called, whatever. They lock it in like it's going to happen. They get all hyped. People start making custom jerseys, all this crazy shit.
Has he been traded?
Other podcasts, they start hyping him up. I've seen it. I mean, it's all over the place. And I'm like, dude, he's not even good. Did you just watch him on Thursday night?
Ballard didn't try. Ballard didn't try.
Dude, hold on. The night he was trending, he played like shit.
And got roasted.
Yes. So here's the thing. It's like, come on. Like, think for yourselves. When you see the name, you see that the reason Ballard called twice, right? Because he did earlier before and then called again was because the guy was made available. Ballard calls everyone who's made available.
Thank you.
He does it every
He
single
does his
time.
job.
When a GM makes someone notes that, hey, this guy is available for trade, call in.
What you want?
Ballard calls. Hey, what are you asking?
A bag of
Because if I
chips?
can-
Okay.
Yeah, if I can give you a bag of chips, yeah, sure, I'll take them. And then if he doesn't pay
Fourth
out,
round. See you later.
if he doesn't pay out, I'm gonna cut him.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude,
why not? Why not? Like, he does it for everyone. Like, we got to stop doing this as a fan base because it drives me completely nuts.
Literally with
literally,
literally with every player, like literally fans go crazy and nuts about Leonard Fournette. I'm like, the dude plays running back. He weighs 270 pounds right now, and people want to trade. People want to sign
Eddie
him.
Lacy. He's
Like-
another Eddie Lacy.
I'm like, why do
Looks
we
like
do this
Terrell
for
Suggs
every
out there.
single- we do it for every single player, and that's just my thing. That's why I'm like, when people sit there and talk about him, I'm like, hey, I don't totally hate you for the comment, but you can't sit here and be mad at a Colts player that's already on our roster,
Yeah.
and then
And what-
want a
yeah.
guy that does the same thing and want to pay him
That's
more.
my issue. That's my
I want
issue.
to pay him more to
That's-
do the same thing that you complain about. Like
That's my whole issue with all of it. It's not even positional need, but not the style of position we need. We just hear receiver and Colts ears go crazy. But going back to Matt's point, bro, that's the result of us being a fan of a small market team too, who does not get trades, who do not get massive trades. We've had one big trade in the last 20 years.
Yeah, Buckner.
I'm not counting Buckner. I'm counting Trent
Oh
Richardson.
no, Trent Richardson.
And how good did that work out for us, right? So
I don't know.
shit.
That Buckner trade was a pretty big trade.
I mean,
but
Carson Wentz was a
we
big
gave
trade.
up. We gave up a first round pick for Trent Richardson.
You could say
we gave up a first round pick for Buckner.
we did.
But I'm saying like big names. When you think of the big names, the player, the value. So
That was mid-season.
Buckner was a
mid-season.
big trade that worked. Trent Richardson was a big trade that we stumped.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just one
I
of
mean,
those
you
situations.
traded for a second year running back who, whatever.
Yeah,
We won't.
just
spend
like
the
when
next hour
people
on
That's a
now when people throw out the trade and they say Scary Terry, that's when I'm like, all right, now you got my ear buzzing.
Yeah,
now
that's
I can
a rumor I
now
want.
I can listen to you. Now I can understand where you're coming from.
That's a
if
Ballard
we're
guy
talking
too.
about Scary Terry.
That's a Ballard guy
but-
too.
But
Get
people
that
will
man in
just
Indy.
but people will
He's
take
from
anything.
Indy.
People will just take anything. It's like some people when it's just like they don't care what a woman looks like, they'll just mess with her. That's kind of how Colts fans act. They're like, I don't care who it is. Like, just go get this guy. Like they want Chase Claypool for Christ's sake. Like,
come on, man. What are we
Get outta
doing
here, bro.
What are
Like,
we doing?
They'll just absolutely take anybody.
Yeah, it is funny whenever like we jump around these rumors because Ballard called about him because it's like, yeah, you know who else he calls about? Like we said, every other player. He's a GM.
Yeah.
This is his job, like full time.
If you didn't
full time,
call,
it's his job.
If you didn't call to see the price and then just match the lowest price, then you didn't do
You're
your
not
job.
doing your job.
So,
Yeah.
and for what it's worth, not to dive too much into it, but like it's the same thing with free agency, right? Like we always get frustrated, and we do too, that we don't always get the free agents we want. But then to say he doesn't try, like we don't even know how many times this guy calls, whatever. Like Ballard is working, all right. Like I don't know why people seem to think he's just sitting on his hands during the season. Like this dude makes the calls, he's doing the checks, he's doing everything he's supposed to do, and we see it pay off time and time again. So. If nothing else, let's stop worrying about him not picking up the phone because he doesn't.
I agree. And I think what we're starting to see in the league is free agency being less impactful to a team than wholehearted drafting. Look at these teams. Look at these teams that are cooking now with talent in their own roster. 9 times out of 10, they're drafted at any position, receiver, corner,
and then
running
a
back.
couple key guys. Yeah,
I don't think we can name off both of our hands like 10 free agents over the last 2 years that have been massively impactful or took a team over the top. There hasn't been one. There has not been one.
For what we tried it.
It's also not even about just like getting free agents that we want. It's about the ones that we need.
Yeah,
that's where I would say those are the ones that I get irritated with Ballard because it's kind of like some of those ones where
like right guard.
Okay, like we got a glaring need. Ballard, get it, and then we don't end up getting that guy. Those are the ones that I more so get frustrated.
Even if it's not like big name guys, like just get me a right guard. Like pull somebody in.
Get a Chris Reed.
Hey, for what it's worth,
I mean,
for what it's worth, old Fries back there has not played bad this year. He's done all right. It's the guys on his side too.
After week
I get what
one,
you're saying though. I get what you're saying though.
That's also a guy that Ballard brought in though. You know,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things where we like see it come to fruition, where the guy starts to work out and whatnot, and so. It's just pieces like that where we'd like to see. It's like when we can obviously point a position out and say, "Hey, this is terrible." And then the guy goes through like 6 games and we still saying it's terrible.
The Raven Clark.
Those are the ones that we want Ballard to just jump on quickly
What people don't realize is that certain players look really well where they are
Yeah.
or where they were because of who they're playing with, who's around them, and what system they're in.
Yeah,
Look
you
at
got the
defensively.
context.
I have the perfect example. Richard Sherman. He was
Mm,
one of the best corners in the league when he was playing in Seattle. That man goes to the 49ers and looked like one of the worst corners in the league.
Yep.
Why? Because that defense was built a certain way that worked in his favor.
I
Yeah.
personally think he just got old.
I mean, but
I mean,
you
that
go that
too,
same
that
route.
too,
You go
but
that same
still.
route with Josh Norman. Josh Norman's in that same boat. That,
He
like
was
there
a
are
stud.
multiple guys that could fit
He was a
that.
stud in Carolina.
Seems
Marcus Peters.
defensively much more.
Marcus Peters went, I forget where he started, but he went from one team to the next and then found his spot in
Chiefs.
LA.
Kansas City,
Chiefs.
and then went to Baltimore.
Yeah, and he didn't fit Baltimore.
He
He played well, but he didn't play like to where he was expected to play.
Mm.
Then he went up to LA and he played.
Yeah,
He was back to Marcus Peters.
Yeah, I mean the point definitely rings true. Like fit is just as important as talent. Like you can have a guy with all the talent in the world, but if he doesn't fit that play style or doesn't fit the guys around, whatever the case may be, there's so much to it, man. So you can't just be like X player is gonna fit.
It's like Ballard says, it's gotta be right. It's gotta be right.
Yeah,
It's gotta be right. It's gotta be right for the team. It's gotta be
look
right.
at OBJ. I mean, OBJ's
that's another one.
Top receiver,
Terrible.
top receiver in New York goes over to Cleveland. Was supposed
Don't
to
do
be
shit.
supposed to be this dynamic duo with Jarvis Landry because they were best friends and shit. And
Yeah, it didn't work.
Colts fans wanted him and Julio this offseason.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's a perfect spot for that. Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like fit is so important, dude. I wish fans would start to see more of like it's never just one dude, man. There's 11 guys on the field. There's so many coaches on the field. There's so much that goes into the smallest thing in football. So it's never as simple as, hey, if we sign fucking OBJ, we're gonna have a great receiving. Like it's always more to it, man. So hopefully we start to understand that more as we go.
I want to. Nathan here says I see Colts drafting a wide receiver next year to replace.
I don't.
Pierce. I
do
don't
not.
see that. I don't see where everyone thinks that Pierce needs to get replaced right now. Yeah, sure.
Give me Keon Coleman.
He's not.
I mean,
that
I'll
great,
take
but
one.
But yeah, I'll take one. But at the same time, like,
But it's not our biggest need.
it's week 6.
Yeah.
And everybody's
Again,
like ready to
the brakes.
Yeah, everybody's ready to cut out.
And
Pierce.
we're a winning football team.
Yeah, and we're a winning football team. Like, relax.
I keep changing my need every week, so we're gonna have to wait the season through to see.
That's what I'm saying. When we first came in, I was like, oh, we need this, we need that. We're not going to be that good. We're going to be like, we're already at my range. I said, what, 4 to 6? We're already at.
We're there.
At 4. We're going to be at 4.
Yeah, I'm up to 7 and 9 now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm there.
Especially if we win tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, I'm close to. I'm at number
closer to
10.
Might go
10.
double
I'm
digits.
closer to
yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Like,
Get
things have
excited,
already
man.
changed for me. Too much has changed for me. I'm not ready to sell out on any of these players yet, except for Mo Alley Cox, because I've been still sold out on him. I don't care that he had one good catch that he almost dropped.
Play.
That he
Will
almost,
Mallory.
he
Give me
Will
almost,
Mallory.
he almost, dude, that touchdown catch that he had, he literally almost dropped it. He juggled it. That's literally almost a drop. Perfect pass, almost drop.
Hey,
So-
just never forget, he used to be a basketball star at VCU. All right, they only
Yeah.
say it every time he's on the field.
Oh my God, man. So
This guy, here's a guy who played basketball at
guy.
VCU.
here's a guy.
No way, dude.
Got your Chris Collinsworth going on. Here's a guy.
Now here's a guy.
Now here's a guy with feet for hands. He catches like a 2-year-old.
Golly.
Aye, man. Well, I'll tell y'all what, it's gonna be a big W tomorrow. I don't care what DeMarco says. We're locking it in, baby.
Hey, I didn't lock nothing in, like I said, with the Jags, man.
I'm just talking shit, bro.
I'm just hoping I'm wrong, man. Like I said,
It's time. It's time to break the curse.
I gotta see it. I want to see it. Tired of losing over there.
Well, as always, man, we always appreciate everybody commenting. Man, a lot of comments tonight. That was really cool, man. I appreciate everybody coming in. We always do.
y'all turned up tonight. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Bring that same energy every week. If you're in
Especially
here
as
tonight
we,
watching, make sure you come in every week. Again, follow us on Facebook, IG, Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Drop some comments on YouTube. Leave some reviews on YouTube.
Let us know.
Facebook, everything. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast platform you use. Go ahead and subscribe to us there. Drop some comments in there. Leave some reviews. It helps get our name out there. Some of you guys are just finding us now.
Hey, we made it to Australia, man.
Yeah, we made it to Australia. That's pretty cool.
How about that?
But yeah, man. Just keep it coming. Keep all those comments coming every week. All right. And we'll be here every Saturday. Y'all got to come kick it with the crew. That's why we named it, because y'all going to come kick it with us. We're going to hang out. We're going to have a good time. And then Sunday, we're going to get victories. We're going to come out. We're going to celebrate again. And then we're going to talk shit. Yep. So
make sure you're here same time every Saturday, man. We'll be doing a victory lap next week as we celebrate this big dub we're about to get tomorrow.
That's right. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out. And again, it's always go Colts.
Go Colts.
Go Colts.
Stay conservative, run the ball here on third down.
Here's Richardson. He takes it in for his first NFL touchdown. And Pittman takes it inside the 20, the 10, towards the end zone. Touchdown on 2nd and 28. The Colts capitalize. Richardson to Pittman, 39 yards.